What's good, bitches? So, I was already in this trade before I started the recording. Um, Basically, I stopped recording. I thought nothing was gonna happen. We were 30 something minutes into the market and nothing was even close. So I was just looking at SPY to see kind of what happened. I liked the low of day, so I got in during that big red candle before the candle right now. Um, Targeting my target was on ES. It was 44.40. Right now it's at 44.44. It's a lot of fours. But I added one right there. So basically, my first buy was 5 contracts. My second was just one. The reason I added was because we were um, kind of hovering around that low of day, and when I added, my new stop loss was going to be basically the high of that last candle. So 44.39.80 on SPY. So that's that. And basically, my target was because of Bookmap, and during this trade, my targets kind of changed because there was more liquidity that jumped in during the trade. So I was gonna play it cautious. So the new area I was looking at. So 44.40 is still like my main target, but 44.42 is kind of my new target, or at least my first target, just because that's where the first set of liquidity is. So if we get there, I'll scale out and then hold to see if we can get more momentum down to my actual target. But you'll see what ends up happening in this trade. But as you can see on my chart, I kind of drew like a bigger bear flag. It's okay. It's not great, but it's something I was just looking at. I cut off the top of the SPY chart just because it would make the rest of the chart really small, but we had a big drop off before this like bear flag looking thing, so that's the only reason I really drew it. If it was just whatever, I would not have drawn this, but it was kind of setting up like a pretty big bear flag in my opinion. So if you look at ES, which is the bottom right or the top right, but really the bottom right is the 5 minute. We got to that first target, so I scaled out a third of my position there. So I still have 2/3. I want to see momentum picking up, and since it doesn't, I sell right there. Boom. So now I'm only in 1/3. So either I'm gonna sell if we bounce, or I'll sell on a momentum move down to my 44.40 target. And we bounced right there, so I'm just out. I was up a good amount, so I was happy taking it there. That was the trade. It was pretty simple. Pretty much momentum into that low of day. Those are my fills in the bottom right. I made, so really my first buy was 90, my second buy was 101, but my first buy was 5 contracts, my second buy was 1, so I really made like 20 something percent on my whole position, which is good. It's really good. But that's pretty much the trade. I don't know what else I have here. Oh, I think I might show what happens after, but we don't come back down. It's pretty much what happens here, and I'll show you guys the book map as well. But you can see like a bounce like that is not something you want to hold through. Even though it didn't hit my stop loss, there's no reason to hold when you're up a good amount and the trade kind of went your way, and you see enough red flags telling you to get out for profit. So I would have, had I stuck to my take profit or stop loss, I would have lost a fair amount. So that's that. Okay, so now let me drag this book map onto the screen. Boom. So this is what I'm seeing before the trade. So this is that big drop off I was telling you about. We come from, say this. So we come from high of day, very steep drop. I didn't catch this. It didn't seem like this was a good, really rejection, but it was pretty good. It played out good. I don't know if, that was really takeable, tradable, or whatever. So I got in during this move down. The reason this move wasn't really the best to get in on was because that was a decent move, and momentum. I mean, momentum was fine, but on a move like this, I was looking to get in closer to the low, but we kind of bounced or whatever. And then this was a good momentum flush through, so I got in right before this low broke. So probably right around here. And you can see before I get in, my where my target comes from. It's this 44.40 level. It's kind of been sitting here for a while. Yeah, and then this area, there's not really too much going on, so I thought this would be easy. I add probably here or something like that, so we still hover for a little bit, but let's say over here, you can see that there's new. God damn it! You can see that there's a new liquidity that's a couple more that's actually like setting up before this target. So I'm looking to scale out some here and kind of see what happens here. But seeing all this liquidity kind of jumping in is a little bit of a red flag for your, it hitting all the way to your target, just because that's basically like support or resistance, whatever, however you want to look at it. So yeah, that's that. So once we hit here, that was my first scale out. I don't even remember how this played out. Let me see real quick. 10-10, I was out of everything. 10-10, 9-8. Okay, so yeah, this is where I got out of everything. So basically what I was thinking at the time, this is my first scale out at the first target. Second one was when we kind of hesitated for a little bit. So if you zoom in, the cool thing about Bookmap is you can zoom in like infinitely. So you can see every order that happens. But I mean, doing this is like, that is ridiculous, but whatever. So the second scale out was during this hesitation, and then the last one was during this little pop up. So that's that. Basically, I didn't want this, like, my play happened, although my profit target didn't hit, it changed. There's changing data during this trade. So if I'm getting in here, none of this is here yet. So I'm looking at this, not this. During this little consolidation, it still looks good because, my stop loss hasn't hit. I'm basically looking stop out here. This is probably where I added. I'm seeing liquidity on the highs, so that's resistance on the highs. This is a little bit of a red flag, but we did have good momentum, or like selling pressure during here. Like, buyers were not able to do anything during this entire time. This was nice. I scaled out here because I had to. That was really, like, it was my target or whatever. Scaled out more here because I wanted to see this continue to flush through. If we didn't continue to flush through, this buying pressure was probably going to like bounce us more than I'd like. I was not looking to make this like a 30-minute trade. Like, none of my trades I want to be in for that long. So seeing us kind of hesitate there, I'm up a good amount, so I'm taking it here. And the last one, basically just we're bouncing. I'm green on, most of my position. I'm still green here a good amount. So I'll just take it there, call it a day. So this is what ended up happening after. So it did look like we came down, didn't break the low, and then we boom, boom, boom. So you can say I sniped the bottom if you want. I didn't really, but yeah, that is what happened the rest of the day. So basically, something to look at on Bookmap. This resistance has been here all day. Once we broke it, well, one, I don't know if you could have really played that in a good, sensible manner, but that's something to like know, that we've been sitting at that resistance literally or having this resistance literally all day. So use that as, if you're in an upside play or something like that, use something like that as a target. Yeah, that's how that works. But I don't know what more I can say about this trade. So that's it for me. Peace, guys.